Hello, welcome to a tutorial by UI Inspirations. Make sure to check out the rest of the tutorials on the playlist that is right here, probably somewhere around here. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So let's start designing our application right now. I happen to have open OneNote right in here in my Mac, and remember that I have created in here previously the storyboard for my application. So to make things a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of this first storyboard or of this first screen that I have created in OneNote so I can have it available right by the side of this design. So how do I do that? Well, here on Adobe XD, we actually have the ability to import new elements, and among the elements that we can import are images. So I am here on my desktop and you can see the screenshot that I have just taken right in here, and I can click on import, and now I have this available and I can move it right beside this design. So I have it available right there exactly when I need it as I keep designing my application. Now another thing that I'm going to import is the color palette that I have created previously for this application. I suggest that before building your application, you create a color palette of 3 or 4 colors that you're going to be using throughout the entire application, and this may be directly linked to your logo. So maybe your logo is using X amount of colors. Those colors are probably the ones that you want to use inside of your application. In the best scenario, you of course have created the logo. If you're a professional doing it, you yourself, or maybe you have contacted a professional and they have also created a logo and color branding handbook that is going to allow you to know how to use your logo and how to use your colors better. Currently, what I'm going to do is simply again import. In this case, I have this on downloads, and it is this one in here, and I can import it, and now I also have the colors available right in here. Now as we move forward, we're going to start using these colors in the elements that we're going to be adding to this design. Now the first thing that I want to do here is to add the logo itself, which I have it here in the storyboard that I want the logo to be in the top of my page. So all I have to do is go to the rectangle tool, or again simply click the R key on my keyboard, and I'm going to define a rectangle in here inside of the design. I'm going to hit back with the V key to the select tool, and I'm going to move this a little bit so it's centered in the screen. And what I'm going to do now is I have here my Finder, and I have here 3 options for my logo. Now the one that I want to use right now is this one, which is in white with a white background. All I have to do to add it to this rectangle is to drag and drop it from the Finder, and there it is. So we have seen 2 ways of adding elements from the Finder to Adobe XD. One is to simply go to File and import them, and the other one is to simply drag them and drop them into new elements, in this case a rectangle. Now by the way, I am going to get rid of the border of this rectangle so I can now see the logo without any intrusions. Now before I keep adding new elements to the design, what I want to do is have all of the resources ready. I already have these colors that I'm going to be using. I already have this pre-designed page of how the elements are going to be stacked up inside of the design. I already have this design for me to start building the application. In fact, I have already added this background. Now, the next thing that I want to do is to have all of these colors available quickly for me for when I want to use them. To be able to do that, I'm simply going to select the entire artboard by clicking on the title of it, which by the way we can change in a little bit. And I'm going to navigate to the fill section, and notice that we have this little icon to the right that tells us that we can pick a color from the screen. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag my cursor all the way to the colors that I have in the left, and I'm going to click. And the background is going to change, and this is not what I want, but this is something that I have to do to be able to do what's next. Click on the fill section and notice the tiny little plus icon to the bottom. When I click on it, this color that is currently selected is going to be added to a small library of colors that I'm now going to be able to pick anytime without me needing to type the hexadecimal again or drag this little icon all the way to the color that I want. I'm going to repeat this for the other 3 colors, clicking on fill and adding them to the small library. And finally, I am going to head back to having an entirely white background. So now anytime that I want to change the fill or change the color for certain element on the screen, all I have to do is come back to this little library and choose the color that suits that element. And finally, before we end this video, and in the next video we're going to be adding the extra elements, I do want to add a grid, which is going to be very helpful when we start adding all those elements to every screen. So again, selecting the entire artboard by clicking on the title of the artboard, go to the grid section and activate the grid. And notice that you can change the numbering here, which is going to be the little squares bigger or smaller. So maybe I could type in here 20 and notice how now these squares of the grid are bigger. I could go all the way to 5 and now they are very small, but I think if I select 10, it is going to be enough for me to start adding elements to the screen in a better way. Everything is going to be better lined up and it is going to look a lot better. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you learned a lot and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like on the video right down over there. I will be linking the entire course in the description of the video. Make sure to check that out because you do have access to a very good discount. And as always, comment down below if you have any doubts or any questions about Adobe Experience Design or anything that you just learned in the video, and I'll make sure to answer as quickly as I can. Again, thanks a lot for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.